about cooking? How's about cooking something
Alright,
up
y'all.
to me?
So, this is episode, 5? I think it's episode 5 of Tasty Tuesday, I think. Mama can't remember for sure. Do you know? Is it 5? Huh? Alright. Ever since I been posting on Facebook or posting in our group or anything about my recipes and my cooking, one of the things that I make that we both absolutely love, and that is an easy thing to make, and can be like, I done it when here a while back. I was doing it's been a few months back, actually over a year, I guess. Sorry. I was doing food prep, and this was one of the meals that I made for breakfast. It's an easy thing to make and keep in the fridge. Make a big batch of it at one time. So it is a breakfast bake, and I'm also going to be fixing biscuits and gravy. But ever since I've been posting about my recipes and stuff, everybody's been like, this breakfast bake, everybody's like, I want the recipe, give me the recipe, give me the recipe. So I figured it'd be a great Emma, it would be a great thing to do for a video for Tasty Tuesday. So I put it on my menu, asked the people in our group what they wanted to see, and guess what? They chose the breakfast bake. So, go, she said. Yeah, that's right. We're going to go. We're going to show them how to make it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cook some bacon. Okay, that was my oven that's preheated. You want to preheat your oven to 350. Now, in some of the other episodes, we've linked a recipe in the description. This one, none of these things that I'm cooking tonight, will have a recipe that I can link down below because they're up here. They're my recipes. So I can tell you how to fix it, tell you how to do it, but I can't link a recipe. If you need a recipe wrote out in detail, just give me a holler. You can email us at littleacreshomestead@gmail.com, or link in the description below for that. Or you can join our group on Facebook, Little Acres Homestead, and the recipe for these after this video comes out will be in the group. So while the bacon is cooking, I'm gonna get her new word is go, can you tell? So while the bacon's cooking, I'm gonna get this mixed up and in the yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get the hash browns in the bacon dish and get the egg mixture mixed up while the bacon's cooking. Alright, this bacon dish is a 13 by 9 bacon dish, but it is deeper than just your regular 13 by 9 bacon dish. This, you don't have to fix as much as I'm going to be fixing tonight. I always fix a big batch. Always fix a big batch. Always. Because Rob loves the leftovers. I like the leftovers, and I'm not a big leftover person, but this I like the leftovers of. Plus, thinking about, you all might get a 2-for-1 on this one. I might take the leftovers and stick them in the refrigerator, save some of them, and do breakfast. I can't talk tonight. Breakfast burritos. You can take this mixture and make it into burritos. frozen. I put them in the freezer and we pop them in the microwave for what, 30 seconds or a minute, something like that. It's a quick breakfast, a hot breakfast, and we both love it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hash browns in my bacon dish. So these hash browns that I'm using are, they're off-brand, of course. They're not name brand. And they're the Potatoes O'Brien, the ones that have the onions and the peppers. I used to just get the regular hash browns and cut up onions and peppers, and then I was like, what in the world? I'm crazy for doing all this chopping. Let's just buy them with it already in it. Plus, I like the cube hash browns in this better than I like the shredded. The shredded to me seems like when you put it in here and all the egg mixture and stuff in it, they just kind of get lost with the egg and everything else. So that's why I like the cube.
Bacon.
Now, you can cook this bacon in the microwave if you want to. I'm cooking it in the skillet tonight because I'm going to use the bacon grease to make my gravy. Yes, I know, it's not healthy, but hey, you gotta splurge every once in a while, right?
You have to smell this and make y'all be hungry right now.
We need smell-o-vision.
I felt it for you.
And you don't have to, you don't have to use bacon if you like sausage better. You can use, of course, you can use sausage. I have used sausage in the past. It was okay with me. I'm not a big sausage person. I would much rather have bacon, so that's why I always use bacon. You could even use, excuse Emma, her and Astro's playing. Imagine that. She sees his ball laying up there on the table. That's what she's after. She throws it and says, go. Anyways, you could also use ham if you wanted to. And you want to cook your bacon until it's crispy, because you're going to crumble it up and put it in with your egg mixture. Now I know, I'm sure some of you that's in the group in our group on Facebook that's seen me post this before. The last few times that I've made it, I would just put the bacon on top of it, bacon strips on top of it, and cooked it all together in the oven like that. That's fine if you want to do that. It does take it longer to cook because the bacon, of course, the grease, and it's just added liquid to it. And it also makes the eggs a little greasier. And it's fine if you're in a rush and you really don't want to cook in the bacon like this and crumbling it up and putting it in the egg mixture. You know, if you're in a rush to get it in there. It does take this a long time to cook either way. About an hour to an hour and a half at 350. It's how long it's going to, depending on your oven, is about how long it's going to take. I would say at the least amount of time you're looking at probably 45 minutes. I don't think I'd want to turn my oven up any higher than 350 because you don't want to burn the bottom of it and then it not be cooked through. And it just takes a long time for the egg mixture to set up. Alright. That's 4 pieces, and I'm going to cook 4 more pieces. You put how much bacon you want in yours. If you want more than 8 pieces, put more than 8 pieces. Woo, that's too hot. I thought there was another roll in there. Alright. Y'all, this is why I hate cooking bacon like this. I'd rather stick it in the microwave. Much easier. Well, now I'm going to have to fix another piece. Bacon stealer. Alright. While that bacon's cooking, we're going to go ahead and get the egg mixture mixed up. Alright, I used the whole bag of hash browns. Those are clean, by the way. Okay. If you don't want to use the whole bag of hash browns, you don't have to if you don't want to make that much at one time. Hold on a minute before you get that milk. Whoopsie. You can use however much. I mean, if you want to fix half as much as I'm fixing, I fix half the bag of hash browns, and then you want 6 eggs. But if you're doing a whole bag of hash browns like I am, you want a dozen eggs. All right. Okay, so 12 eggs. I add a little hot sauce in mine. You can omit it if you want to. You don't have to use it. I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of that. It's just a little bit left. Pull that away from me, please. Thank you. Alright, so hot sauce, pepper, and salt. Now I know it looks like I'm putting a lot in here, but you gotta remember this is 12 eggs and it's going in a whole bag of hash browns. Plus there's milk gonna go in here in a minute. Alright, so now we've got 12 eggs, a little bit of hot sauce. If you don't want the hot sauce, you don't have to put it in it. Totally up to you. Salt and pepper. And now I'm going to put milk. I'm using fresh raw milk. Gotta mix it up. If you've never used raw milk, when it sets, the cream rises to the top. And I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute what I'm talking about. Maybe if I can get this open. Babe, can you open this? Thank you. Alright, so you're going to pour your milk in. Then whisk it up till your eggs are, you get all your yolks broken and all mixed up. You want to whisk it real good. Now, you guys know I don't measure anything, so I eyeball it. So I use this mixing bowl whenever I make this. Yep. So it's the same thing every time. And I guess I probably get that skill from, well, Ma, my great-grandma, and my daddy. Like I said here a while back on a video, I get my cooking skills. Ma taught me when I was growing up how to cook. And I also get skills from my dad. My dad's an awesome cook. But when they make their gravy, they always use the same bowl to pour their milk into. You'll see what I'm talking about here after a while when I fix my gravy. So that way, they don't measure their milk. They just eyeball it. You use the same bowl every time. You know how much milk you need to put in it. Alright, I think I got that mixed up real good. So, I set my bacon in the freezer to cool it off real quick so I can handle it. Crumble it up in here. Let me grab that real quick. Alright, crumble your bacon up. This is why I said you want it crispy. When it's crispy, it's easy to crumble. Alright, let me wash my hands real quick. Alright, so once you get that all done, mix your bacon up in there. Then, you got it. Then, you just pour it over your hash browns. Just like that. Alright guys, so that's mixed up and ready to go in the oven. I'm going to stick it in the oven, and I'm going to, because I know my oven, and I know, I fixed this enough times, I know how long, what's going to look like. I'm going to start at 1 hour, and then see what it looks like in an hour, and go from there. And I will bring you guys back to let you see that. But real quick, I want to show you that cream on the milk. Because you guys, if y'all haven't seen raw milk, the cream on raw milk, if you've never used raw milk or never seen it, you know, in person, it's actually really neat to see it. So we'll show you that real quick. Ready? See that, guys? Okay, let me explain. This down here is milk. This is cream. And they're everyone like that. That one in the back looks like it has the most. Alright guys, so I just want to show you that real quick because it's really cool. I think it is. It's really neat how it separates. So when you go take it out of the refrigerator and use it or drink it, you want to shake it up to get the cream mixed back into with the milk. What are you doing, short stuff? Yeah, that's your milk. Yeah. As of right now, I do not let her drink raw milk just because she's so little. And I mean, you are taking a risk when you consume raw milk. Oh, she's playing. Watch out, Emma.
I'm gonna have to buy a new refrigerator.
Leaving the door open is going to ruin the refrigerator.
It makes it work harder.
Okay, Mr. Appliance Repairman. I'm sorry. So, door shut. Is that better? Anyways, you are taking a risk when you consume raw milk. So, consume at your own risk. I don't drink it raw. Rob does. I don't like milk. I know. I just don't. Alright guys, so I'll bring you back and let you see that when it's done. You'll get to see it when it's done. Actually, let me take that back. Rewind. I will bring you back when it's time for me to get the gravy cooking and I get the biscuits on. Alright y'all, my timer just went off and I'm going to check it. Or I've done checked it, I mean. And it's done. Ta-da. Alright. And now I'm going to get my biscuits mixed up and my gravy cooked. First things first, I'm going to do the biscuits. Alright, first things first, guys. I'm going to get my biscuits mixed up. So for here, these are just regular drop biscuits. Easy peasy. Nothing fancy. I'm out of my flour that I keep in my big bowl. It's much easier to measure. Alright, you need 2 cups of flour, so there's one. And there's 2. Alright, 2 cups of flour. Oh, I gotta melt my... Can you grab one of them silicone, the smallest one? Thank you. Then you need a half a cup of melted butter. And I really should have already melted this. I forgot it. You want to do that first so it can be cooling a little bit while you're fixing the other stuff. Or getting the other stuff measured out and everything. I know I said measured, right? I'm actually measuring something, but they're biscuits. Like I said, when I bake is when I measure. Alright. Alright, then you need a fourth of a teaspoon of salt. And a tablespoon, which this is a teaspoon measuring spoon. Hold on. Alright, this is a teaspoon measuring spoon, and I somehow have misplaced my tablespoon, so that's why I'm using it. Teaspoon, I need 1 tablespoon, so it's 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, and then you want to mix that all together. Normally, if I'm just doing these for like a side, just a biscuit to have on the side, not to eat with gravy, I put sugar in it. You put 1 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, but to eat with gravy, I am not going to put the sugar in it. Alright, you mix all your dry ingredients up, and then you pour in your half a cup of melted butter. And you need a cup of milk. Let me grab that real quick. Alright, and then you mix it up. Alright, and that's the consistency. Yeah. That is the consistency. Y'all, I can't talk tonight. It is the consistency that you're looking for. It's going to be, you know, sticky and thick, since it's drop biscuits. That's what you want, because I made the mistake one time. I made these, and I had just in the in the half-gallon jar of milk, I had just a little bit more than a cup. And I thought, I'll just throw that in there. Instead of putting it back in the refrigerator, I'll just throw it in there. It'll be all right. It wasn't all right. They were flat as pancakes. They still tasted good, but because they had too much liquid in them, they didn't rise. They flattened out. Alright, so you drop them just like that, by the spoonful.
Strong leg is high.
And they don't have to be the same size. And they're not going to spread out very much. They're going to rise up more than spread out. So you can put them close together like this. Alright, there they are. Alright, so I got what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 biscuits out of that. If you make them smaller, obviously you would get more. So these go in the oven at 425 for 10 to 12 minutes. Gotta get every bit of that baking grease. Don't want to miss none of them good stuff. Alright. Alright. So, you know earlier I was talking about my great-grandma and my dad using the same bowl when they make gravy? This is what I'm talking about. This is the bowl. And you can choose whatever bowl you want to. Whatever works for you. Whatever size bowl works for you. The amount of gravy that you want for your family. You can have 2 bowls. Like if you make a small amount of gravy, have a smaller bowl. You make a bigger amount of gravy, have a bigger bowl. But you use the same bowl every time, so that way you know how much milk you need. So, because if you use the same bowl every time, it's the same size, so you put the same amount of milk in it. If you fill it up, it's going to be the same amount every time. All right. Now if you don't want the cream mixed up in your milk, you can take it off, let it all sit to rise to the top like that. Take a spoon, take it off, put it in another mason jar or just a glass jar of some type that has a lid. Screw the lid on, but don't screw it all the way to. Let it sit out on your counter for 24 to 48 hours and you'll have homemade sour cream. Woo! Alright, so my bacon grease is heated up. So I'm going to put a table, roughly. I use just a regular tablespoon. And you do this by eyesight as well. Or I do. Alright, y'all see how it got still some liquid to it, but it's thick in the middle. That's what you want. You want it slightly thick, but you don't want it too thick because you don't want lumpy gravy. So you want to cook this for just a few seconds. You want to keep stirring it. And I've got my heat turned down to just a little bit above medium. I had turned it up on high to get this heated up real quick. But you want to cook it for just, a little bit. Cook that flour taste out. And then pour your milk in. Alright, now you stir. And you stir. You do not stop stirring. Open it, let me see. They're done. There's the biscuits. They were 10 minutes. Well, what's taking so long is because I usually leave my milk out and let it warm up while I'm doing other stuff, like while I'm mixing my biscuits up or any of that good stuff. And I didn't. It was fresh out of the refrigerator, so it was nice and cold. And it's taking it longer to come up to a boil, but I think it's just about there. Yeah. Alright, so now it's boiling. You definitely want to keep stirring it. It's thicker. See how it's thicker than it was. So I know it looks really thin. It will thicken up once it cools some. Then this is a step you don't have to do if you don't want to. I put salt and pepper. And I do put quite a bit of salt. There we go. And quite a bit of pepper. And this is something that I use regular salt in. I do not use no salt. So you put it in there and then you mix it up. Alright guys. So that's my gravy. Fran, I hope you learned something tonight. She is Spina Bifida Mom. We've been friends for a long time on Facebook. She's in our group on Facebook. And when I was talking about making gravy, she's like, I really want to see how you make your gravy because I've never made gravy from scratch. I always made it from a package. I've never made gravy from a package, y'all. Up until just a very few short years ago, I didn't even know there was such a thing as gravy in a package. I guess you could call me a hillbilly. Alright y'all, so there's supper. We got biscuits made from scratch, gravy made from scratch, and my breakfast bake, or casserole, whatever you want to call it. Are you fascinated?
Pepper didn't be mixed up. I'm sorry.
Oh. Alright, y'all. So I guess that's it for tonight. We'll see how well Emma likes this. I know she won't eat the gravy. She might eat the breakfast bake. I think I might fix her a piece of French toast real quick. Sausage. Give her this to go with it. So, I guess that's it. You ready to eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just ready to eat since yesterday.
You're full of it. Alright, y'all. Until the next one. Bye.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.